Okay, let's talk about melatonin. We all think we know what it is, right? It's the sleep hormone, the thing we grab from the pharmacy to get over jet lag. But what if I told you its most important job has nothing to do with sleep at all? Today, we are diving into some pretty surprising evidence that melatonin might just be a secret weapon for your reproductive health.
So when I say melatonin, your mind probably goes straight to one place: sleep. It's the go-to supplement for a restless night, sometimes called the hormone of darkness. But you know what? That's really only half the story.
A growing mountain of research is suggesting its most powerful role isn't about getting some shut-eye. It's actually about protection, specifically protecting the very cells that are the foundation for our future families. So, how on earth does it do that? Well, to understand, we've got to look way past its job as our body's sleep regulator and uncover its secret identity. Okay, let's get a little technical for a second. Melatonin is a neurohormone, and yeah, it's mostly made by the pineal gland when it gets dark. But here is the kicker, the crucial clue. It's also produced locally, right inside our reproductive organs. Now, why would it be there? That's a massive hint about its other incredibly vital mission. Honestly, the easiest way to think about melatonin in this context is as a tiny, secret superhero for your cells, just working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep them safe and sound. And this little superhero has four distinct powers. First, it's a crazy potent antioxidant, so it zaps all these damaging molecules. Second, it guards our mitochondria, the power plants of our cells. Third, it acts as an anti-inflammatory, calming down irritation. And finally, it has what scientists call anti-apoptotic effects, which is really just a fancy way of saying it stops cells from self-destructing. A pretty impressive skill set, huh? So, what's the main villain that these superpowers are fighting against? It's a process called oxidative stress. You can just think of it like cellular rust. It's this imbalance that can cause some serious damage to all of our cells, but it's especially rough on the very delicate and important ones, our eggs and our sperm. With that background, let's look at melatonin's first big mission when it comes to fertility, boosting female reproductive health. And this is where the evidence gets really compelling. Research shows that while melatonin is circulating in our blood, its concentration is way higher in the follicular fluid that surrounds a developing egg. The level even goes up as the follicle gets bigger and more mature. It's like our body is intentionally concentrating this protective superhero right where it's needed the most. And this isn't just a lab finding. It seems to have a real-world impact. A major analysis of 10 different clinical trials found that women undergoing IVF who took melatonin supplements had 1.43 times the odds of achieving a clinical pregnancy. I mean, that is a powerful statistic. And this benefit wasn't just seen in one specific group. For women with unexplained infertility, studies showed they retrieved more eggs. For those who'd had IVF fail before, fertilization rates literally jumped from 23% to 50%. And for women of advanced maternal age, one study even showed the live birth rate more than doubled. It's a remarkably consistent pattern of good news across the board. But hey, this is not just a story about female fertility. Turns out melatonin's protective mission extends to male reproductive health as well. Melatonin provides this multifaceted defense for sperm. It improves their motility, that's their ability to swim effectively. It protects their DNA from getting damaged, which is absolutely critical for a healthy embryo. It shields the cell membrane from harm, and it even helps sperm survive the incredibly stressful process of being frozen and thawed for fertility treatments. So the promise is clear, but like all good science, there's always nuance and complexity. Let's get into the paradoxes and the practical side of all this research. Here's a perfect example of that nuance. Melatonin's effect on testosterone. It isn't a simple one-way street. In situations of bodily stress, like from obesity, it seems to actually increase testosterone. But in other lab settings, it can have the complete opposite effect. It's a perfect illustration of how complex our body's chemistry is and how context is truly everything. So the practical question is, how much were people actually using in these studies? Well, for standard IVF, 3 milligrams a day was pretty common. For advanced maternal age, it was often around 2 milligrams. And for those with PCOS, doses were sometimes a bit higher. It's so crucial to remember these are research protocols, not general recommendations for everybody. So the most important point is always safety. Melatonin is generally considered very safe, with typically mild side effects like vivid dreams or a bit of fatigue. But timing's critical. It should be taken an hour or two before bed to work with your body's natural rhythm. Its use outside of IVF is still debated, and it's not currently recommended during pregnancy or breastfeeding, simply because we don't have enough data yet. And of course, like any supplement, it can interact with medications, which makes a conversation with a doctor absolutely essential. And to be totally transparent about where the science currently stands, the researchers themselves point out a key limitation. They say that while studies consistently find more clinical pregnancies, most of them just weren't large enough to definitively prove an increase in live birth rates, which is, of course, the ultimate goal. This kind of honesty just highlights that there's still more to learn. So we're left with this fascinating question. Melatonin is literally the hormone of darkness. It's released when the lights go out. Could it be that one of the keys to protecting and enhancing our fertility has been hiding in the dark all along? It's definitely some food for thought.